Hello and welcome to Sunday night here at Frank's Retirement Home. And what better way to spend it than listening to the sultry sounds of our voices? My name is Zach Vexel. Joining me on the desk today is Ruler of Men, and our lovely spectator is the Wolfie Pup. Ruler, we're going into another Walkers match. How are we doing?
We love our Walkers matches here.
We
Nothing better.
absolutely do. Yeah, Gunshow Shoguns and Killer Kappas right now. Killer Kappas taking the first pick slot. Bands are coming through, yeah, pretty steadily. And I mean, we ban the whale, right? We ban the whale around here.
You gotta ban the whale. If you're not banning the whale, what are you banning?
The whale. I mean,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, ban him,
yeah,
yeah.
nothing else. Yeah. So we see
It's
the
not the
Bake
whale, it's the
Kujira
whale.
getting right. Yeah, we get Bake Kujira right on out of here. Good pick, but also a favorite from Lunar B. The Kukulkan getting removed over there on the side of Gunshow Shoguns. Thanatos, a very early game aggressive pick. We see him a lot in ranks. We see him a lot moving around the scene right now. You got that semi-global ultimate. No reason not to get that god out of there. And Athena, another again global ultimate, somebody who's been around since the end of last season, doing a lot of work with that pick. That taunt is so massive with a lot of these picks, and who wants to be taunted into a two-shot crit? I don't
Nobody.
know I do.
Nobody.
Yeah, I know. Waiting.
Certainly not me.
No, absolutely not. You kidding me? It doesn't feel too good when you're that immobile character. You know, you don't have any CC immunity in your kit, and then all of a sudden you just eat a 2-second taunt, and well, 2 seconds is plenty of time for a hunter to get 2 auto attacks out.
2
One
seconds, a
alone,
million
yeah.
seconds doesn't make a difference when you're dead to that burst instantly.
No, not at all, not at all. Maman Brigitte getting banned away in the third pick slot for the Killer Kappas. We want to get that god on out. Somebody who scales really nice into the late game if you can maintain her early game well. She still does work, in my opinion. Not the biggest favorited pick, but still a good one nonetheless, especially when you're trying to run double hunter comps. Osiris rounding out the bans for the Gunshow Shoguns, one of our top solo lane
Hachiman.
pickups. And here we see a very quick pick, hover, and lock in of the Hachiman.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with the Hachiman. I think just unequivocally he is the best ADC right now. Does everything you want, has safety in the early, and just scales incredibly hard in that late game.
Vomit.
Oh yeah, and you get that safety, and let me just jump on that mounted archery, get away anytime I'm getting ganked. Unless they have an Odin or something, you're not really getting locked down in any way, shape, or form. I mean, a Thor wall placed properly could definitely stop that horse from going anywhere. Over on the side of the Gunshow Shogun, so we see Vamana and Karen. Two very aggressive picks coming out right out of the gate from the Gunshow Shoguns.
That is a really scary front line to deal with. Yeah, I can just, throw out a summon sticks. All of a sudden, Vamana's moving at Mach 5 towards you. Gonna go ahead and get on into that big baby and just wreak havoc.
Yeah, we talked about the 2-second
Yep.
taunt coming out of Athena. How about a 2-second fear coming out of that summon sticks right into Vamana ultimate damage, just slamming out on top of you? I know I don't want that.
Yeah, certainly not ideal. Vamana, interesting enough, we've seen him played both roles. That solo, he's pretty strong as well as in the jungle. So always nice to have a little flexibility early on in this draft.
Good little hover and lock in of the Bellona over on the side of the Killer Kappas. We remove the Osiris. We're going to pick the Bellona. One of our dominant solo laners. We're seeing a lot of Bellonas, the Vamanas, the Osirises, and the Surters really getting played over there, cycling their way through. These gods just have a ton of potential to just abuse and dominate in lane and then abuse and dominate on the rotation. And then, we talked about the Thanatos pick earlier being an early game aggressive pick. But here we see a hover and lock in of the Susano, someone who can really have that mobility from the amount of dashes that he has in his kit and to abuse any sort of immobile character.
Yeah, definitely is able to handle even a lot of highly immobile characters, that oh god, what is it? What is the 3? I cannot think of the name of the ability. Regardless though, if you land that, you are able to teleport to somebody, so really counters gods like Giannis where, oh no, you went through a wall, haha, just kidding, I'm right back on top of you. So a lot of versatility there if you're able to, land the ability and then remain patient enough to use it properly.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of just early aggression coming out from the Killer Kappas and then transition into the late game with that Hachiman pick. Objectives should be a surefire way of playing this team comp, but over on the side of the Gunshow Shoguns, it's Bakasura getting locked in. This is a pick I haven't seen in a minute.
Yeah, definitely, something you only really expect to see from somebody that specializes in it, like Devin Frisco up in Canes, or in fact, it's ISO down here in Walker. That's his signature pick. I'm not too surprised seeing it here.
I said something about early aggression and then late game scaling for the Killer Kappas, but then you look over at the Gunshow Shoguns draft and it's just slamming it down your throat with Vamana carried, and then there's this scaling hyper late game carry of the Bakasura. That could be very troublesome. Honestly, when you think about it for the Killer Kappas, I'm seeing kind of a similarity in draft style going both ways, but it seems like the Killer Kappas have this more neutral aspect where it can be played more in the mid game, but the Killer Kappas have this more very defined. We have super hyper early game and super hyper late game right now. Bands flying through here in the bands flying through here in the second phase. Hunter's getting banned away over from the Killer Kappas, the Anhur and Ishtar, two very aggressive picks. And then for the Gunshow Shoguns, we're seeing two support Guardians getting locked out here, Geb and the Maui.
Yeah, definitely like the target from each of them. After those three ADCs get banned out, the Hachi, the Anhur, and the Ishtar, you kind of have to go digging to find your next ADC. It really just comes down to comfort at that point. You're no longer looking at meta.
Follow.
So I definitely like that. And then just saying, nah, support you can't have nice things. No Athena, no Maui, no Geb, no fun.
I have to say though, Apollo isn't one of the ones that I think about when I'm like, okay, we're gonna be digging a little bit into our god pool right now. Apollo just doesn't really come to mind, So I'm kind of surprised to see what it is the Gunshow Shoguns actually end up doing with this pickup. I see really good potential for if Susano or Bologna jumps on top of this Apollo, he's just gonna mez, do a quick little spam laugh, dash away, and then get some distance on them before completely just discerning their engage. So good potential from that pick, just not one that I expected, especially when you're laning with a Karen. I'm thinking something a little bit more aggressive that can get in there and shove it down in this early game, and I feel like he's going to be able to control the mid game more than anything.
Yeah, definitely one of those gods that gets stronger towards that mid to late game. I mean, what does Apollo do other than kind of just split push around? You get things done.
I mean, Chernobog's still available. Didn't want him though.
No.
Nah.
He has less versatility. He can only go to a fight. He can't go to a tower to split push. That's
exactly. Janice and Ganesha finishing off the draft for the Killer Kappas. A lot of global potential from them moving around, kind of match that Apollo global potential. But the thing is that this is team global potential. We're just going to send the Janice out left or right, challenge this objective, challenge that objective, invade over here, invade over there, challenge a lane, whatever it is. And then the Ganesha, a highly favorited pick, someone who can play that sort of midline style, throw out the ultimate while also peeling for his team. Just a lot of utility in that God's kit. And then rounding off for the Gunshow Shoguns, it's Poseidon.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of, versatility in the Killer Kappas draft. They can play the early, they can play the mid, they can play the late with certain picks. But honestly, what really jumps out at me is Gunshow Shogun's ability to just run it down. That is a team comp that holds W in a fight, if I've ever seen one.
Oh, they're looking to lock you in place, blow you up with a Kraken, some auto attacks, whatever the likes it is. All I know, it's going to be rather dangerous being a Killer Kappas backliner, which is why I think that Ganesha really comes into play very nicely. Someone who can peel for his backline, apply that kind of silence, the grab onto somebody. It's going to be difficult for this Bakasura to just make his way in initially, and hopefully, our Ganesha over here is able to get his grabs off, get his silences off, prevent the Bakasura and Vamana from getting their kit off, forcing them to use relics, whatever the likes may be, so that they can get their dive off, or forcing them into maybe a Magi's cloak, forcing their build in your favor. Either way, seeing a lot of potential there, and we're not going to find out until we get into game. So we're going to go to a quick intermission. We will be back with game number 1. Just a few minutes. You guys stay tuned. Welcome back to game number 1 of Killer Kappas versus the Gunshow Shoguns. Thanks for sticking with us through that one. You still have me, Zach Vexel, and Ruler of Men jumping on in to game number 1. Nothing too spicy with these builds so far. I mean, like, I think the only thing I really see is it looks like we're going into a double executioner over on the side of the Gunshow Shoguns, Ruler.
Yeah, definitely could be a possibility there. Might be an Aussie instead for that Apollo, looking to get that lifesteal first, but
That is
not
true.
interested in the cool items.
Yeah, I mean, who needs those funny lifesteal items when you can get another funny lifesteal item? It's all the same at the end of the day, right?
That's true. Who needs Crimson Claws when we have Crimson Claws at home?
Exactly. One thing I do find interesting is the 5 health pots on the Apollo. I guess worried more about boxing than he is about using any abilities or anything like that.
Yeah, I feel like he's one of those gods that like struggles with mana the most over there in the duo lane.
He does. That ultimate just chews through mana, but the Hachiman, I can see it. You know, he's got the mana built into his passive.
Yeah. He hits a couple autos. He's got 2 trillion MP5. He's never even thought about having low mana.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Not an issue there. Eating some good poke over here in the duo lane right out of the gate. No surprise, but a little gank attempt coming out right now from its ISO. Not too sure you want to be ganking a little early like that as a Bakasura now running into a Susanoo Freaky, making his rotation on over. Challenging the gank attempt. 3v3 in the duo lane at 60 seconds into the game. This is what you like to see. A nice little skirmish going on.
Certainly got some things going on. Nobody really wants to take this fight early. I don't blame them. I mean, Bakasura pre-level 5 just doesn't feel good. You don't feel like a real god.
Right.
That's what mannequins. Mannequins is so strong.
It's good. It's good. Freaky G eating a lot of poke right now, fried ice cream, and it's ISO making their way on in. Unfortunate Whirlpool unable to find its mark. Freaky walks on out of there, and it looks like Gunshow Shogun secured both those mids. So, good XP in the pocket for them securing those neutrals.
Yeah, definitely doesn't feel good. You're knocking those down in your mids like, I hate to tell you this, but they're coming left. No. It hurts my feelings. I won't back up even though my mid tells me to, and it's just like, man.
Yeah, when you eat half your health bar and damage to it, dumped all of your kit, and then they come over and you're just like, and I still haven't finished one. Lovely.
Oh, those mid camps are so tanky for no good reason.
It's ridiculous.
Like they feel like a boss fight. You're over there and you're like, I don't know whose health bar is gonna go down first.
It's ISO making his way over to the solo lane. Dash already used by 6 point, making his... Oh, he catches it, and it looks like Freaky G is going to pick up first blood for the Killer Kappas. I had to hold that one off. I was like, oh.
Yep,
there goes the split street. He got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Nice
Good
first
pullback
blood
from
over.
the Susanoo. Just secures that one. Oh, you're trying to run? That's cute. What if I pulled you back?
Did open up its ISO to go for the invade. Hits level 4 before Freaky G. Might be biting off more than he could chew going for this red buff, though. Did commit jump as well. He's locked in here, getting surrounded by Lunar B and Freaky G. Doesn't get the red buff. Might lose his life. Trying his best to run away. That dash should be coming back up soon, but you're running away from a Janice and Susanoo. Blink expended, and it looks like Susan has beads, so he won't be catching anytime soon.
Nope. Gonna have to just grumble about that one. Man, we didn't get to kill him. At least they forced out the blink.
They saved the red buff too, so honestly it's a win-win.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt too bad.
Don't gotta worry about a level 5 Bakasura blinking into you. Now he has to jump in, commit everything in order to really get a good gank attempt off. Team's going back, getting their farm going. Just kind of secure some buffs, make your way around, and play it a little bit safer right now going into this late early game, so to say. I mean, nothing's up.
Still just hanging out. 500 gold. That's nothing. That's just first blood. Don't mean nothing at all. Other than that, though, I was just thinking, Bakasura into Susanoo. Honestly, I don't know if that's actually a bad counter matchup. I mean, generally, people are thinking, Bakasura has the cripple for Susanoo. He just kind of wins that. I don't really think so. I think that it really just depends on whoever is, being the initiator there.
That really comes down to it with those two picks. The big thing, too, is that Susanoo's Typhoon versus Bakasura's Regurgitate. You feel like, okay, I use the Regurgitate to make sure that he's crippled and he can't dash around anywhere, but then I don't have that CC immunity for when he uses Typhoon to knock me up. Or I hold it for when he uses the Typhoon, so you get that CC immunity, but now he's able to dash around and dump his entire kit. So make a choice over there. Deacon securing a second pickup over in the solo lane. A nice solo kill for the solo laner of the Killer Kappas.
Yeah, just Bologna things. Grabs that nice kill, has the phalanx before, you know, the
I think that
Vamana
was a
has
big thing,
anything.
yeah. That phalanx already online for the Bologna is massive.
What, you don't like when Bologna has 100 defense after one item?
I kind of cry a little bit. I think the
It
big
hurts my
issue...
feelings.
Yeah, right? 6-point upgraded the teleport immediately. I think that's kind of why he didn't have the gold for the Phalanx, because now we just saw him after that death get the Phalanx off, so he's able to now come back to lane and be at that same power spike level. But it's a pick your poison kind of thing with those items. Either I upgrade my relic now because I know I'm going to be fighting, and I want to get that second passive online, or well, that second quest, relic quest. There we go, online.
Yeah. Relic quests are so cool. I think that's such a neat addition.
It is. It just makes it kind of difficult to manage around it. So it's like for other game modes and stuff. It's like even in Conquest, am I going to
Oh,
be
I generally
fighting a
just
lot?
end up buying them.
Oh, yeah.
I end up just buying them most of the time.
I get tier 2s early a lot a lot more now than I did before, just because it's like, okay, we're going to be fighting a lot around the mid game, looking at these objectives. I'd rather get the damage instant stacks or CC instant stacks online.
Yeah, definitely a little bit easier if you're going for one of those high combat games. If not, you just farm it now. That tier 1 goes nice and quickly. 140, don't take too long.
Not at all. Nobody really looking to do any invades as our third rotation of buffs start to come up right now here, approaching the 6-minute mark into the game. Still only a 500 gold lead off of that first blood for the Killer Kappas. Nobody really pushing a lead too far as of yet.
Okay.
Beads expended though from fried ice cream in the middle.
Yep, beads are forced, and what I was looking at is Bakasura going Kin's first item, not the Executioner we were thinking earlier.
Huh. Okay, so I have seen this before. I'm assuming we're gonna go into a crit immediately.
I could see that, but I don't know why you wouldn't just go Exy, or... I just don't think that's necessarily the strongest first item. It's just expensive, and it doesn't do too much early.
It's percentage health damage at the end of the day. I can see exactly what you're saying, because you're like, okay, well, maybe I go for like more of a bridge item in the style of I get a rage online to get the rage pass,
or,
yeah,
or an Atalanta's, or something like
that's gonna
that.
either give me an early game or scale me into the mid game. And like, sure, you get the Kins now as a late game item, but it's like, I guess, getting... I can't say it's like getting Deathbringer right now, because it's not, or like getting Heartseeker now, because it's not. It's still, you still get that passive at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's still a nice item. It just feels better in the late game compared to right now.
Oh yeah.
Good Typhoon.
Ooh.
That was just great coordination. Typhoon, Eagles Rally, bing bang boom, he's on the gray screen.
What a rotation from Fried Ice Cream, getting that Kraken off onto Freaky G, making the beads of the Susano also go to waste. I don't think you can beads the damage of Kraken, Ruler.
I believe you are correct. I believe that, it doesn't care if you're yellow, it cares if you have like the tiny yellow circles around you.
Yeah. So I guess Kin's looking at it, going back to that. You have the passive to where you're dealing a percentage of their health damage as max health damage. Okay, cool. So I guess that works overall, but when they have more health, that passive then scales up. So kind of like Heartseeker. So I guess you could say it's like Heartseeker in that aspect. The one thing is it has a more usable early game passive than Heartseeker does, because Heartseeker scales off of power.
Yeah, still one of those things where it doesn't get its full effectiveness in the early game, Yeah, sure, it'll make you do an extra 12 damage, based on their max health, instead of, maybe an extra 20 damage with a power item. So, just a tough build.
Good wards over here in the dual lane, letting Not a Big Deal realize that there's a elephant lurking nearby, and a summon sticks gets sent out. Is it gonna catch Freaky G? It does. You can't run away from that in a straight line. It's gonna catch you. You're like, okay, do I go left? Do I go right? And you end up running right into it every time.
I feel like it's harder to dodge when you're trying.
Yes.
Like, you don't know it's coming, you'll be out of the way, no problem. You know it's coming, and you're like, which way do I go? Ooh, got hit by it.
I feel like Susano wouldn't be too bad though, because you drop that 3, and you're able to just teleport right to the other side of it.
Just throw the 3 right through it, and just TP to the other side after it passes.
Not much going on other than teams getting their fun, but it may be a little gank attempt over in the dual lane again. It looks like not a big deal, just realizing that a rotation is coming. Ended up getting his back stopped out of mana as well, getting his back stopped again. But it looks like just an invade attempt right now on the purple buff. Patriot not going to be able to call this one out and recognize it. Doesn't make the rotation on in. Purple buff going down for the killer Kappas.
I'm surprised you didn't try to fight the Charon for the green buff. I would have went for it.
Maybe didn't.
I would have Typhoon for
Yeah.
it. Drop the
I would've-
ultimate for it. I don't care.
Oh yeah, we dump
Send
kit
a
for buff
message.
invades.
Send a message.
That's what it's about at the end of the day. Something I realized too, the beads got expended from fried ice cream really early from Freaky G, and it just didn't feel like they capitalized off of it. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, it never seemed like, Freaky G was going to make that extra effort to go back there and, hit a good pull Typhoon to, punish that beads.
Using
Through
it right now
space and time lands on the Patriot there.
They're doing
Guys?
this gold fear, and I don't know if they can. That's two ultimates expended already. It looks like player Hone's extremely low as well. Gonna have to back off of this one.
Why are we here? There's no picks. Why is everybody coming to gold here? I'm so lost.
Trying to bait a fight, maybe damage check or something, but I feel like damage check is something you kind of do in passing.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree. Just
Especially, I don't think you're doing it because
No,
you have Aussie
back
instead
to
of
back to
Exy
soul
over there.
lane. We're good.
Start talking about these builds again. Aussie on the not a big deal on Apollo. So you don't have that executioner.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was
Right.
thinking.
But now it goes back to why are we pulling Gold Fury? Because you're like, okay, well, we don't have any sort of pseudo penetration, removing of protections for us taking these objectives. So maybe just see what the response time is from the Gunshow Shoguns.
It was a pretty good response time, but they also had to worry about the response time of the Gold Fury on player home, and I saw like
It gets pretty
maybe
instant.
50 HP. Like it was out for blood for sure.
Oh yeah, we were lucky he was able to get on away from there. Devil's fully stacked now from a Gemini Angel going into the Griffin Wings on the Hachiman. Those whatever one is called, gonna be flying at you pretty hard, pretty fast. First beacon.
Yeah, definitely a pickup we don't see a lot, but this is also a player that we don't see in ADC a lot, Usually going to be the support for the Killer Kappas. Unfortunately got moved into the ADC role for tonight with our limited availabilities.
Dharmic Pillar summons Styx, Gurgitate, and a Kraken. Everything getting dumped for this fight for Beacon here at the 12-minute mark. It's ISO sticking around a little bit too long. Lunar B ends up picking that one up. Fight still continuing. Freaky G looking if he could pick up fried ice cream, gets himself on out of there. Shell doing a little bit to keep him alive, but you're fighting off an assassin. You used your big damaging ability right there. Looks like Freaky G does not want it anymore, making his way on back over for the Beacon fight. Finds himself in front of fried ice cream, getting the damage off as much as he can, but it looks like he's going to end up falling to the Poseidon. Fried ice cream picking that one up, and it looks like the first Beacon's going to go the way of the Gunshow Shoguns.
There it is. It was tough to tell there for a second. I mean, it could have went either way, but the ability to send more men with that across the skies just gives them the edge to get that one done.
Now, Warriors making their way on over here to the middle lane, leaving that solo lane. They don't want to be over there. 10 minutes is done. We don't need to be in lane anymore. Let's rotate on over to mid, see what we can do.
Again, I mean, if I'm the Samana, I'm trying to get active. I mean, look at the build. He's got the haste and katana already. He's looking to run people down.
I got to stick to my targets when I'm in that Colossal Fury.
Uh-huh.
What better way to
Yeah,
do it than, haste?
It's hard. That's the worst feeling. You're in the Colossal Fury and somebody just dashes away and you just have to sit there like, oh.
Even when they just walk away, because you're like smack, step, step, smack, step, 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 smack, step. Doesn't feel good.
Just chasing their ghost, just one step behind. Like, man.
And then when you
Still
miss
feel
too,
good.
you're just like, ah. Double executioners end up coming out for the Gunshow Shoguns. What we thought was going to be in the first item slot ended up in the second.
They just needed some time to go ahead and build them. They like, do we need to shred their prots just yet? Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, realizing now you kind of probably have to with your triple auto attack build you got, or team comp you got going on here. No objectives getting committed to as of yet. I mean, Gold Fury was committing to the players, but nothing yet in terms of pulling since then. Now with these executioners online for the Gunshow Shoguns, we may see something. end up coming out, and teams getting into this mid game with their builds. 2 items online from just about everybody. Well, everybody.
Freaky in a tough spot here.
Forced to use the beads to try to get himself away, but the Kraken hits not enough, not close enough for the knock-up either. Freaky G getting on out of there. Blink and Regurgitate coming out from its ISO. Freaky G still getting himself to the middle tier 1 tower. And now it looks like the Gunshow Shoguns just want to back off towards the Gold Fury.
And we see
back
Deacon
off.
teleport into mid, maybe looking for a Gold Fury here.
Yeah, just to back off in general. Yeah, Deacon teleports into mid, though. So I guess you don't want to really pull that when Bologna's making her way on over. Now it looks like the Killer Kappas are going to be the ones to pull it off of the engage from the Gunshow Shoguns. Freaky G making his way on up as well. But the response time from the Gunshow Shoguns is good. Summon Sticks is not available. There goes the Dharmic Pillars.
Dropped.
Gold Fury getting very low. Here comes the Vamana with the Colossal Fury, and it looks like the Killer Kappas end up securing that one, but might be at the cost of their support, and it is. 6 point picking that one up. Now Deacon trying to get himself away. Drops the horrific decreased damage. No lifesteal from that Vamana. Able to get himself away.
That's fair. I mean, support for Gold Fury, never going to be too upset about that one. What you might be upset of is, you know, Gunshow Shogun's actually building a lead regardless of that Gold Fury going down.
Huge
Amazing
4-man Typhoon, yeah. He ends up getting 1 and a Kraken, getting himself on out. Does he make it out, though? Horrific is good from 6 point, and he ends up securing that one through space and time. Off the mark a little bit, but the mounted archery from Gemini Angel ends up finding
Oh
fried
no,
ice cream.
Lunar. No.
The portal on the ground, I think she said.
Has to
Fighting a
be, has to
Vamana. Yeah, you're fighting a
be.
Vamana.
It's a
with Haste and
Vamana with
Katana.
Haste and Katana. If you're not directly next to a wall, you're just done for.
Janice's don't stand a chance. Now 6 point in a little bit of danger, getting ran down by Deacon. But back on off. We got the Gold Fury. But still, like you said, Gunshow Shoguns are building a little bit of a lead off this right now.
Yeah, definitely just continuing to build that lead, you know. Almost evens up right out that Gold Fury and then immediately just goes right back to the Gunshow's favor. Just showing that they're, you know, not playing the objective as well, but they're getting a lot of farm in compensation.
Yeah, might as well. Take that purple buff. Go
Somebody
for you.
has to.
Yeah. Teams making their way on back, going for some neutral farm. Not much going on at the moment. Just securing your buffs, making your way on around. That next beacon's going to be spawning soon, so we'll expect probably something around there. Maybe transition that into a Pyromancer.
Yeah, I definitely could see that. A little bit of a fight on this beacon. If it goes one way or the other, certainly could see that Pyromancer be in the next call.
Supports return to the dual lane. Summon Sticks gets dumped, but they don't realize that Deacon is rotating on in right behind them. There comes that Eagles rally right on top of beautiful double stun. Not a big deal, expending the beads. Patriot getting zoned out. Mounted archery connecting to not a big deal, but a really good mez from the Apollo might just get him away and get him out of this 3-man gank attempt, with the Vamana rotating in just ever so late, now making his way into this fight.
Yeah, Vamana definitely taking good advantage of that. Knocks down a couple waves, extends his farm lead a little bit more, and is still able to get into this fight on time.
That's really unfortunate gank attempt from the Killer Kappas. I feel like if they could have walked away with a pick there, it could have set them up nicely for these objectives in mid, but that beacon goes down. Teams are fighting still over here. Nothing really up, though. It's ISO using that Regurgitate defensively, and it looks like a disengage. Well, not a disengage. We're trying to get a Vamana off of our backline.
Vamana versus 4 people in Dharmic Pillars, it's an even fight. That's the worst part.
Yeah, just wait till he gets that Colossal Fury back up. Should be coming up soon. Now Patriot and 6 point might be in a little bit too deep, but they end up getting away. Really good zoning Whirlpool coming out from Fried Ice Cream.
Yeah, just again, Gunshow Shoguns able to keep themselves alive in a fight, you know. They're not winning the fights, they're not losing the fights, they're just farming elsewhere while these fights are going on. That's the big thing that I've seen. You know, it's 6 point staying in solo for a second to get some farm and then TPing over with a teleporter, rather than Deacon just going over there immediately.
Not much going on. It looks like Deacon is still chilling around over by that Gold Fury pit, setting up for that Oni Fury. Now, they do have the Oracle Vision, not going to be too worried. No Beacon, but Deacon sitting over here in the mid lane. As teams make their way on up, we're going to go to a quick little intermission, though. We will be back with game number 1 in just a minute. We'll see you in a minute. Welcome back to game number 1 of Killer Kappas versus Gunshow Shoguns, 6-5, and only a 2k gold lead.
Yeah, still a pretty close game. 20 minutes, 2K. That's not insurmountable. You're saying, probably don't want to be down, but it is what it is.
Pulling up the Pyromancer is the Killer Kappas. Gonna end up committing to that one. Summer 6 ends up coming through the backline, but so in the backline is 6 Point, deleting half the health bar of Lunar, be it forcing that through space and time, doing his best to chase that one down, but it looks like Deacon fighting the backline of the Gunshow Shoguns. Colossal Fury gets expended. Freaky G uses the Typhoon, and it's ISO, ends up securing the kill onto Deacon. Now Freaky G trying his best to get away, cannot do so. 6 Point picking up a second kill for the Gunshow Shoguns here in this fight. Now the Pyromancer going in favor of the Gunshow Shoguns.
Yeah, that was really clean from the Shoguns. As soon as that stun in the sticks rips through, 6 Point is just there to capitalize on it. They know they're on the Pyro. They take a good countermeasure there, and just great play coming out. I love this Vamana pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's Vamana. If you're not building to do something about this pick, and I'm talking, using that horrific when you get some Colossal Fury, dropping your maybe a Sunder or something on top of him as well, using some anti-heal, just doing something. You need to be able to shred this character, and it does not seem like Killer Kappas are able to lock down and shred this pick as they want to. Oni Fury going the way of the Gunshow Shoguns might end up just resetting themselves, backing off, and hopefully using these waves to start to push a little bit of a lead here in game number 1.
Yeah, definitely starting to build themselves up a lead. Finally get themselves in a lead on that kill column as well, which it has to feel good, you know. You're ahead in goal, but like, you know, we're still down in kills. They're finally surpassing there, so definitely feeling good about themselves.
Yeah, and with some of these later game carries on their side, the Bakasura, the Poseidon, stuff that's going to scale really nicely into late game, while also having a super nasty front line with this Karen and Vamana. Yeah, is that a word I can use?
Yeah, I think it's a word.
Yeah.
What's the definition? I don't know, but yeah.
I'm nervous. Honestly, I'm nervous.
Respectable, respectable. Definitely something to be worried about going into the late game, you know. Definitely a lot more scaling on the side of the Shoguns.
Patriot and 6 Point definitely got spotted out as they were clearing that ward. Last beacon's going to be spawning soon. Freaky G getting ran at by 6 Point. There goes the summon sticks peeling off Deacon. Freaky G getting locked in place. Typhoon is dropped. Colossal Fury is dropped. Through Space and Time is dropped. Freaky G makes it on out of there, and now it looks like a brawl of the tanks. Plus Lunar in the solo lane.
Yeah, definitely looking for something, but I don't think they're going to be able to find too much here. No, Kraken comes out, lands on 3.
Yeah, hold that thought. Here comes a Kraken.
Oh, this looks fine. Oh, Kraken. Understandable, understandable.
Dharmic Pillars used to try to peel. Hopefully Player Hone can get himself on out of there, making themselves into their tier 2 tower, getting away by the skin of their teeth. Freaky G making himself into the backline. That is not a place I would want to be, facing down 5 members of the Gunshow Shoguns. I think he realized it now, dashing away as fast as he could. And I don't think the Gunshow Shoguns, though, are healthy enough to push into this Fire Giant.
Yeah, I think that they could be done. You just have to be worried, you know. Don't want that steal, even if, you know, they don't have the Giannis through space and time to be able to do it.
It's ISO, though, did not heal the retreat. Oh, hear the retreat call. Stuck around a little bit too long and, ended up eating yet another Typhoon here.
Yeah, unfortunately, those Typhoons hurt, you know. Susanoo, pretty much full build, you know, starting to wrap up those last couple of items. Already has the Hydras online. Definitely does not feel good to get hit by.
Look, Dad, mobile wards.
I love them.
Mountain Archery getting himself on out of there. Through space and time, a Kraken, a summon sticks, a whole lot of ultimates getting dropped right here, and an Eagles rally secures the kill onto Fried Ice Cream. Really good attention by Deacon, locking that Poseidon down, but now surrounded by 3 members. Here comes the Ganesha to peel, and there go the Dharmic Pillars, but also here comes, well, the Colossal Fury.
Yeah, Colossal Fury, it shall be.
Look at that auto. Look at those autos. Yeah.
Honestly, the only surprise I have right now is Karon doesn't have those Shoguns. But I mean, I guess Vamana does get it, you know, that late build.
You're surprised that Karon doesn't have a Shogun? I'm surprised that Ganesha has a Spectral.
That's fair, that's fair.
We gotta reduce the crit damage from the Gunshow Shoguns.
Mm-hmm. All 0. You gotta get it down to 0.
Oh yeah. Got negative.
Wait, it's already there.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Negative
Just one of those.
critting.
Every time, every game, everybody builds crit. You know, I gotta get the Spectral out.
He was thinking it was gonna come probably with the Bakasura, Apollo, and Vamana. Like somebody's going to be building crit here, maybe. But there is a Shogun's right there over on 6 Point. So there, now you have that magical defense. Yeah, so cool. We get a little bit more attack speed now on this Vamana.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you know, it's not a physical defense item, so he's not getting that extra power, but, you know, just what it is.
Defense is defense at the end of the day, you know?
Well, defense is power if you're Vamana.
Right.
The physical variety at the very least.
Gotta keep him alive, though, against that Janus we just saw running down.
I think they'll manage. I mean, you know, 13,000 damage, that's not bad.
I feel like Lunar Bee is gonna have to start making her way, playing around walls and using that assassin Janus style. Because, I mean, how else are you gonna... You can't really fight front to back here when you're facing down Karen, Bakasura, and Vamana. You know, it just seems a little bit too difficult for the Killer Kappas.
Yeah, definitely have to be playing very carefully around these walls. Just play that hit and run style. Just, okay, yep, I'm gonna pop through this wall, I'm gonna land my damage, then I'm gonna just get out. Don't want to be dealing with that front line for any longer than you need to.
Ward Wars right now around our first Fire Giant at the 27-minute mark, and oh look, the Raven Ward. Pyromancer going down the way of the Gunshow Shogun Summon Sticks getting dropped. Doesn't find anyone, it finds two, but looks like that's all that it's going to end up finding, as the Gunshow Shoguns want to disengage after that one.
Yeah, not going to find too much after that. Just, making sure we're gonna get this Pyromancer. Not gonna have to worry about that one. 2 bombs available, as well as a Kraken. It looks like they might be interested in this Fire Giant.
Picking it on up. 2-man knockup from the Fire Giant. Massive. But not a big deal, saying it's not a big deal as he almost ate the second one. Fire Giant getting down to about 50%. And the Killer Kappas are now making their way on. Freaky G getting in the middle of them, dropping that Typhoon. But Regurgitate comes on through, not a big deal. Picks that pick up. Fire Giant getting low. And it goes the way of the Killer Kappas, along with Gemini picking up that pick on its ISO. Now Killer Kappas are on the chase down, 4 members strong, looking at the low HP bars of the Gunshow Shoguns. Poseidon might be a little bit too low, but 6 points. It's on the back line, chasing down Lunar B, unable to peel this Vamana off of her. Fried Ice Cream made his way on out, and it looks like 6 point will as well.
Definitely not the best case scenarios for the Kappas, but Gunshow Shoguns can't be feeling good after that, Use the crack and it doesn't quite secure, and the Kappas are just able to steal it.
God, well, you got Fire Giant around 3 members now. And when you're the Killer Kappas, you're 4K down. That's a good thing.
You just want Fire Giant off of the other team, and looks like they have it off of all 5, so I'll take that any day of the week.
We had a funny bug in an SOC match one time where I gotta talk about it. We were so confused at how one of our members was getting so much higher in level despite how bad the game was for us going up against some of those teams.
When you used to be able to get glitched to the other team somehow, and you're getting their tower kills and their objectives.
Yes. So he was receiving all of the golden XP for our objectives. He was receiving all of the golden XP for their objectives at the same time. It was like he was a member for both teams, because we didn't realize it until the enemy team took Fire Giant, and he had Fire Giant. And he was sitting there walking around with Fire Giant, looking at us. He's like, guys, I'm glad we stole Fire Giant. And we're like, what?
We didn't.
We didn't. Excuse you.
Simply too special. Nah, you can have it.
It pulled out a very big pause. Gunshow Shogun's picking up this Gold Fury. Not able to take it for too long. Patriot might be in a difficult position. Good peel from the ADC of the Gunshow Shogun. Summon Sticks gets dropped as well. And now Freaky G, yeah. Just yeah.
Yeah, there's a Vamana and a Bakasura there that do not want you alive. I don't think you're alive.
It's 1 death for the Killer Kappas. Still wanting for this Gold Fury though. Not really wanting to pick it up though. Just kind of facing off.
To be fair, they didn't lose a person with Fire Giant there, so does it really count? Still have it around 3.
That is true. Raven Ward used to spot out the Gunshow Shogun's members, see where they are, and a nice little clear ward fighting around. I guess we just want Gold Fury right now. No, and that's fair. Dashing in way deep as the Patriot doesn't realize its ISO is behind as well. Horrific's getting dumped, and now it looks like Deacon just wants to do his best to zone for his team. Beads expended from Fried Ice Cream, but 6 point found Lunar B, and now Gemini Angel might be in a difficult position. A really good Dharmic Pillars and a really good mounted archery gets him out of there.
Yeah, unfortunately, just this Bakasura Vamana diving the front line is just too much. I saw what I was terrified. Will the Summon 6 do it? I don't think it did enough damage regardless, but it was
fun
close.
to watch.
It's a race.
Fire Giant falling off in about 30 seconds from the Killer Kappas members, and it looks like Gunshow Shoguns want to pick up Pyromancer and start setting up in that direction. 5 members moving in towards that fire pit, but Killer Kappas are looking by.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
Kappa's trying to get up there and not going to be able to. Kind of just trying to make sure they can secure their own farm. 7k down isn't the place where you really want to be taking fights.
I mean, 7k down, taking fight around this enhanced fire giant though. I think
That's
that's a pretty good
reasonable.
deal. Yeah.
That's one that you kind of have to do. That or you just get a Raven Ward and a through space and time and you just yoink it. There's options.
Yeah, I know they're not going to be yoinking it with any bombs since Gunshow Shoguns have 3 of those sitting in their pockets.
That's fine. They had 2 of them last time when they let it get stolen. So are they ever gonna use them? Who knows?
Two of them and a Kraken too. So now they have 3 and a Kraken. So maybe they'll secure it this time.
I don't know why so many people don't use bombs to secure objectives.
It depends, honestly. Really does. I mean, it's such a good tool for securing objectives, but it's also such a great tool for cracking a base. And in the earlier game too, especially before EFG, if you're able to just run in and take a Phoenix, it's because you have 2 bombs in pocket and you're just like, cool, well, let's just open this map up wide because we got 1 pick and everybody else is over on the other end of the map.
Yeah, that's fair. I can definitely see both points. I just really hate when the fire giant gets stolen. It really grinds my gears. Just like
Really
there's
grinds your
nothing
gears, eh?
worse. Really grinds my gears.
Yeah. Group up around this enhanced fire giant. A little bit of ward wars going on, clearing those on out of there. Gunshow Shoguns have some really nice posture. Freaky G cleaning up the rest of the bastions in the middle lane.
Gotta get
Meanwhile-
those bastion bucks.
Oh yeah, very, very important. It's ISO getting spotted out. Freaky G getting spotted out. Beads expended by Freaky G as 2 ultimates get dropped from the Gunshow Shoguns. Now 6 point doing Vamana things here. Eating a lot
Currently
of
fighting
damage though.
4, but
Horrific finally
That doesn't work.
expended. The Vamana falls first. It's ISO jumping on in. It's ISO fallen back to the gray screen. 5-3 right now in this team fight as Susano makes his way on back. Up mounted archery gets used. Not a big deal. Gets caught by it, but the wall was good. Dashes on out of there.
still the great fight from Killer Kappas. A lot of resources expended on Freaky G, and they're just able to pick one at a time, They finally get the point where 6 point is relatively alone. They're able to pick him up, and just great recognition from them.
Fire Giant pulled by the Killer Kappas. Enhanced Fire Giant at that. Player Pone, I don't know if you want to eat too many of those knockups. They do a lot of damage. Fire Giant getting down to about 50% HP. And it looks like that, what's it called? Effigy still standing?
Effigy's still standing. Freaky able to pick up fried ice cream, making sure that he's not going to be able to steal it. However, Gemini Angel obliterated by the orbital strike coming out of the Fire Giant.
Yeah, Fire Giant is doing damage right now, and I can't tell who's winning this fight. Not a big deal, ends up defalling as well after using a really nice across the sky to get on over here, but getting out
So you
over
didn't
here
know
is-
who won. I think we do now.
Yeah,
It is
6.2.
unfortunately Shoguns.
6 point chasing down the 2 members of the Killer Kappas. I don't know if you want to dash away from that one, Deacon. Might want to use those block stacks to your advantage, because now 6 point dealing some massive damage to this Bologna, ends up taking her on out of there. Freaky G not able to do enough. 6 point now on the chase down of this Hachiman. Good dash away, but I don't know if you can turn back. Nope, he ends up getting out of there. Oh,
That's a weird looking Hachiman.
that is a weird looking Hachiman. I was looking at the I was looking at just the outfit. You know? I wasn't
It
looking
almost
at who
looks
it
like a
was.
Hachi skin, I'll give you that. I'll
It
give you
does.
that.
Thanks for the correction.
That's a weird looking dog.
I'm like, why isn't he auto-attacking when he's just standing at the red buff pit? It's weird to me. And then I was like, oh.
He's more of like a burst ability assassin,
Yeah. It's
Unfortunately, nobody using the secret tech. Oh, they had through space and time hits too. They're still committing to this though. I respect it.
Yeah.
A lot of low health bars. Both
Summon
ultimates
Styx comes-
used, regurgitate, summon Styx. Typhoon steals.
Typhoon steals.
Typhoon
Killer
steals.
Kappas. Yeah, Killer Kappas get another Fire Giant, an enhanced Fire Giant, and this time around 4 members instead of 3.
It was so close to 5. But you gotta get what you can get when you're taking a steal.
Oh yeah, when it's a steal, beggars can't be choosers at all.
If it's a steal, I'm okay with one person keeping it, that'd be alright.
Massive Typhoon from Freaky G. Clean up the last of these bastions over this hill lane, push down these towers, and now, it's go time for the Killer Kappas, able to close the gap right here. It's 3K, 4K, actually. But with these towers going down, this gap's about to get closed immensely quick. I'm a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit worried about
this could be
Freaky here.
0 very quickly.
Oh, forces the Aegis from Fried Ice Cream and the beats as well, and the life at the end of the day. Freaky G sending Fried Ice Cream back to the gray screen, and that's a 60-second timer for this Poseidon.
That's a long time, and that Poseidon is a big member on their defense, Instead of being defensive, I think that, Gunshow Shoguns are going to get offensive on these defenses. Just absolutely get in there with a Summon Styx Colossal Fury, rather than, trying to defend under the Phoenix.
If I'm Killer Kappas right now, I want to be grouped up as 5. It's a 5v4. Right now, with splitting up 4-1, you're turning this into a 4v4. Blink in from its ISO onto Freaky G here in the mid lane. There goes the Regurgitate as well. Beats expended from Freaky, gets himself on out of there. And that's something I was a little bit worried about because we talked about it at the start of the game. Whichever assassin engages feels like it's going to have the advantage in these late game fights. And, well, we saw it right there.
Bakasura comes in, just absolutely takes his entire health bar and his beads. But that's just life.
I mean, that's enough to defend.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Even with a man down, the Killer Kappas have to back themselves away because the Gunshow Shoguns just had a really good defense just poking out one member of the Killer Kappas.
Yeah, that's what it took, though. Just like I was thinking, you have to get offensive rather than defensive. All right, well, I'm going to knock him down. All of a sudden, it's a 4v4. And nah, we're fine on a 4v4. We'll take that. We're a little bit ahead in gold.
Well, 1K gold lead here at the 38-minute mark. We got a Gold Fury still. We got a Pyromancer still we can take. We got a Tier 2 tower still on the map. This gold lead could swing in the favor of the Killer Kappas very quickly. Nobody did die on their side. That is a positive. Susano doesn't have beads, and it's ISO. I'm remembering that, and I am using that as best as I can here once my blink comes back up, or even if I just catch him out, like with the Raven Ward.
Well, you need some help with that because he still has the Magi's up.
Ooh, good point. Good point.
Purple procs that, right?
I
think
Disarm
so.
does.
No, I was thinking like Baka himself. I don't think he.
No, Cripple doesn't? It's really weird.
That's so weird how they classify CCs as hard versus soft.
Yeah.
Your team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
I think a Cripple doesn't.
A Disarm does.
Disarm
for
does,
sure.
yes. 'Cause I watch Bologna's all the time, watch up and go, haha, there goes your Magi's.
Yep. Or Ganesha just walk up, silence definitely counts.
Oh yeah, it's a silence, yeah. Obviously grabs, knockups, pulls, knockbacks,
Mezzes.
roots.
Yeah. A lot of things it could be, I just don't think Bakasura is one of them.
No. And I think it's because it's a
Because you can
cripple.
still do other things.
Yeah.
You just can't use a movement ability.
I've been thinking about this one for a while now, and I'm like, I play the pick too. That's the
I know,
sad
it's just
part.
like,
and it's
one
like,
of those
I
where it's
really-
just so hard to tell.
I'm like 95% confident that it doesn't, and like you can't pop bubble with a cripple field. It's
But it
gonna be
feels
sitting
like
on
it
me.
could at the same time.
It feels like it
like-
should, yeah.
It feels like it should, but I also feel like it wouldn't just because high res,
Just because it's
They
that,
don't agree with
classification
us.
of CCs, yeah. Classification of CCs that ended up happening, what, 2 years ago?
Something like that.
It's been a while.
I mean, you really have three, you have hard CCs that proc Stone of Gaia, hard CCs that don't, and then soft CCs. There's just so many CC types.
I think it's a soft CC because it wouldn't proc Runeforged.
Yep, there we go.
Uh,
That sounds pretty correct.
It sounds right. Beacon going down now. The gold lead extended in favor of the Killer Kappas by about 2K. Not bad, but when you're setting up for this enhanced fire giant here in the late game, kind of negligible.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great, but at the end of the day, every dollar matters. Realistically, that could be 400 or 500 pods. That's pretty significant.
Okay, we gotta talk to Player Hone about eating.
No.
these fire
He was
giant knockups.
setting it up to have the fire giant hit the effigy. Leave him
Summon
alone.
Styx gets dropped, and the Killer Kappas Well, that kind of explained it right there. Freaky G ends up falling to fried ice cream. Beats expended from the Poseidon. Not a big deal. Finds Deacon. That is the entire engage from the Killer Kappas completely denied. Gemini Angel falls as well. Lunar B forced it. Okay. Well, that's
yeah,
five.
that's a full 5.
Yeah, I mean, do you bother with Fire Giant right now?
I
You
wouldn't.
have 3. No, you have 3 bombs.
I'm running it up mid.
Oh yeah,
The game's over. I still think that they might have a chance to run it up mid even after this.
Oh, easily. I mean, you got 40 seconds on the nearest respawn, being Freaky G on the Susano. We know, well, he's got beats up, so could. do
This
something,
should
but
be
I don't
game.
think you want it.
Just
likely,
start
yeah.
running, guys. Start running. What's taking so long? Why aren't we at the base yet? Why are we
20.
splitting up?
Yeah, 20 seconds remaining for our Susano life. Hopefully he ends up coming up. 1 bomb expended, 2 bombs expended. Middle Phoenix and Solo Phoenix goes down. Marching into the Titan room is 5 members of the Gunshow Shoguns, all with enhanced Fire Giant. There goes the last bomb, and there goes game number 1. Gunshow Shoguns take that one away right out from underneath the Killer Kappas when it felt like a comeback was almost there.
Just one bad fight, you know. A little bit of off-target priority. A couple people staying on the FG, a couple of people taking the fight, and it just goes the way of the Shoguns.
With how even this game was getting into this point in that last Fire Giant fight, it feels like the Fire Giant's not something you can really just commit to outright. You know, you need to be looking to bait in a fight and watch your positioning, watch your spacing, take advantage of people who aren't watching their positioning. You know, have that ward vision down and just jump on top of whoever you can when you can. And it felt like they were more focused on the Fire Giant there than it was the 5 members of the Gunshow Shoguns marching in on them.
Yeah, I have to agree on that. You know, I think that that's something that they were not taking too seriously. The Fire Giant dance rather than just the Fire Giant.
Well, really good game number 1 coming out from the Gunshow Shoguns. Dominant in the early game. Good comeback from the Killer Kappas there in the mid game. And then securing it in that last fight. Just absolutely looking dominant. I mean, I said dominant in the early game, but man, looking right there, that felt good. That felt clean. That felt Gunshow Shoguns all the way without contest. You know, Fried Ice Cream looked a little bit poked out, but man, good 5-0 team fight. Putting away game number 1. We'll be back with picks and bans for game number 2 in just a few minutes. We will see you there. See you then. Welcome back to game number 2 of Killer Kappas versus the Gunshow Shoguns here on Sunday night. And Ruler, if game number 1 had anything to say about it, I think game number 2 could go any way.
Yeah, it definitely just came down to one unfortunate fight in the late game. Didn't go the way of the Killer Kappas, and unfortunately led to their untimely loss. Hopefully, going to see a little bit more in this game. See a little bit more of that late game rather than just, oh, they lost a fight and we're gone. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
And with bans going exactly the same as game number 1, I think the teams are kind of agreeing the same thing. Like, maybe it comes down to just that team fight, how well we play it, how well we play around our picks, around the enemy team's picks. But one thing that did feel kind of certain was the Vamana felt to be an issue. It just didn't feel like Killer Kappas had an answer to it. They had Horrific, but I only saw it maybe used on him once or twice.
Yeah, didn't see it get used on him too many times. Definitely one of those things that you kind of have to be completely on top of. Have to make sure that he does not get to do what he wants.
Hachiman banned away here from the Killer Kappas, though, in their third slot, and it looks like the Gunshow Shoguns kind of see through the plan of the Killer Kappas, banning away the Vamana so that doesn't go their way. But the Bologna, which looked pretty good on Deacon in game number 1, is still available.
Yeah, definitely looked pretty good there. Bologna certainly strong. Just struggled with a little bit of lack of farm throughout the mid game, but certainly something they can fix up in this game number 2.
Then too surprising. You got a lot of picks still available. If you want to take away the care in yourself, have that aggressive support yourself, you can do that, or you can take the Osiris and just look for another dominant solo laner to play. But again, that leaves up that Bologna pick.
Yeah, it leaves up the Bologna for sure, but it looks like we might not have to worry about that.
Maman Brigitte.
Maman, Brigitte, and Ymir getting hovered, getting locked in for the first 2 picks of the Gunshow Shoguns. Now, said it a little bit in game number 1 when the Maman was banned. Seeing her here in game number 2, you're looking for that kind of scalability in the jungle. And, I don't think the Gunshow Shoguns are any stranger to that, because its ISO on that Bakasura looked like he realized, okay, I'm going to scale up, I'm going to get late game, I'm just going to shred down whoever I decide to and kind of run through the back end of the team fight. So played that well. But now you have this Ymir pick, and to me that says we're running it down, invading blue buffs, invading purple buffs. Wherever I decide to be is where the fight is going to be.
Yeah, definitely Ymir, one of those, I would say, tougher gods to play. You don't have that mobility, but you're very aggressive. You throw up those walls. You remove options from the other team.
Yeah, and unless you're playing it in that aggressive manner, he's not somebody who's going to be in the back line peeling for his team as well as any other support could, in my opinion. And not like he can't. I think any pick can. But it's more so, it's something that feels comfortable when you're getting in there, you're getting aggressive, you're being in the enemy team's face. Say you'd go for those purple buff invades. Cool, let me just freeze anybody who comes in, put up a wall so that they can't come and stop us from taking these purple buffs, and congratulations, that's a secure. We're getting that XP lead over here. We're pushing our advantage on one side. Well, congratulations to RC Magdalon for winning 10,000 gems. Nice.
It should have been me.
I'm not even playing a game right now.
I know.
Izanami and Daji locking in for the Killer Kappas here, their second and third picks. And a Hui hover, Hui lock in for the Gunshow Shoguns. A very aggressive duo lane for the Gunshow Shoguns right now.
Yeah, Hui, interesting pick. Don't love it for sure, but it is a very big counter into that Izanami. That mark of the Golden Crow certainly just negates that invisibility that you have there.
Yeah, you're not able to get away, stay invis. Pretty much just going to be using that invisibility for movement at the end of the day, pinging that out for your team. The one thing that I do see, though, is the amount of lane clear potential with just the Izanami pick alone. It's like, sure, the Ymir and Hui have the lane clear potential in themselves together as a duo, but depending on what the support pickup is for the Killer Kappas, they could easily surpass whatever it is the Gunshow Shoguns can do in the duo lane. And the Daji pick being able to, well, I guess really only target the Hui in terms of lack of CC immunity, but able to do stuff when the Maman Brigitte doesn't have that ultimate available to her. Going to be interesting to see how well they can utilize the early game from the Daji to try to put down this Maman early. Janice and Ganesha getting banned out from the Gunshow Shoguns, saying pick a different mid laner, pick a different support, and it looks like Bologna and Thoth are going to get removed for the Killer Kappas.
Yeah, definitely can't go wrong, making them play a little bit less comfort. And then, of course, just Bologna. You don't want to play Osiris solo into Bologna. I mean, that doesn't sound too fun.
No, I mean, I think we saw that plenty at Worlds of like, hey, yeah, this doesn't work as well. In the solo lane that we thought was going to be the dominant one going in with that Osiris ended up not being the dominant one at the end of the day once that Bologna pickup was just started running down. X-Ball, though, a very interesting pickup here. You know what? Hu Yi mid, X-Ball in the duo.
I can see that.
Right, but I just feel like now you've lost all that aggression. So X-Ball mid, Hu Yi over in the duo? Because then also, you like you were saying, with that Mark of the Crow, being able to spot out the Izanami, it just feels like something good in lane to have. So I want to see X-Ball mid. But my heart's telling me it's going to be X-Ball over in the duo.
Yeah, as much as I want it to be, the Ymir Ho Yi duo lane, I just think that, Ho Yi makes more sense building into a more burst style. What is this? Ixchel, Xingqian. Those are
I have
okay.
to say, number one, I am extremely happy that I see Xingqian. You know how long it's been since I've seen this character? I want the spin to win. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it is Player Hone can do on this, getting him on something that's a little bit more aggressive. But, there's a big but. You have a very telegraphed ultimate. And you're looking at X-Ball, who has a CC immune dash, Hu Yi, who can just go up into the air, Ymir, who can just go into his ultimate, Maman Brigitte, who has a dash, who can go inside of you and just have a CC immune ultimate, Ares, who has his CC immune ultimate. I'm just not seeing a whole lot of what this Xingqian can use, so I think I'm happy to see the pick, but I want to see what is Player Hone can actually do with this at the end of the day.
I mean, it definitely gets a little bit of value even without the ultimate, just into this double ADC comp. That one does reduce auto attack damage, so it can certainly be useful to help them kind of weather the storm of this double ADC when it comes towards that late game.
Going to be interesting to see, but when I see the Ares, though, Ymir solo? Ares solo. You know what? I'm looking at this.
They're both good. They're both so good.
Okay, Patriots on Ares, so that means it's support.
I'm less excited now.
Yeah, so it's going to be Ares support, and Ymir over in the solo lane.
I feel like Osiris just kind of bullies up on Ymir, not gonna lie.
I definitely agree. And then fried ice cream on the X-Ball, so it is going to be X-Ball mid.
Okay.
I'm happy for that. But like you were saying, Osiris into the Ymir, I feel like having that Ymir, you know what? Ares and Hu Yi lane, I think, does its own right too, to just be super aggressive. So I actually think that's more versatility with those two than it is with the Ymir. Ymir seems very like you're set in doing this playstyle. You're set in playing in this manner, but with the Ares over there, it kind of changes it up a little bit.
Well, yeah, Harry's just says, "Hey, yo, we're W keying. We're
Right.
getting in there." I love Ares so much right now. I think he's probably the best one to play in ranked right now. Best support just to, I can
Without a doubt.
WQ and I can, get 4 kills in 5 minutes because, haha, Void Damaru and Mystical Mail are good.
Void Tomorrow, Mystical Mail. Yeah, let me just go Prophetic or Gauntlet or whatever combination of items I decide to build. Throw on a Pridwin on top of that. Have that CDR for my ultimate and just be a nuisance. Honestly, just chain 3, and burn them down.
Chain auto, chain auto, chain auto 3. Wait, why is he dead? Why does my Ares have a kill?
Why does my full tank support build Ares just murdering the entire... Yeah. That is the pick that'll end up doing it. So.
Yeah, definitely stronger than he has any right to be.
Now moving on in, though. I love it too. Moving on in game number 1, we're going to see exactly how these double Guardian, double Hunter picks for the Gunshow Shoguns fare, and then how this interesting team comp from the Killer Kappas pick. I mean, we're seeing a lot of just different things here. I feel like players are really delving into their god pools to figure something out here in game number 2.
I like it. You know, I like the. We'll figure something out. We'll make these gods work. You know. I love the
Spicy.
ingenuity. Just
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna play the same god every week. We're gonna have some fun here.
Oh yeah, nobody likes to see the same thing every week. Come on. Every game, every week, ban the same stuff, play the same stuff. Come on, let's get that out of here. Let's change it up. Let's get Xing Chan in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Xing Shen's one of my first Diamond Guardians.
Oh.
So I got a special love for him. He's just not that great.
Yeah.
just mediocre.
Just yeah, no, he sucks.
yeah.
I
Yo,
love
but remember when
Xing
you would build Chronos Pendant first item on Xing Tian?
I'd do
Those were
it
the
right now,
days.
honestly.
That's fair. But that used to be meta. Every game you'd go into would be like Xing Tian with
Massive
Chronos
wrap around
Pendant.
from Patriot. I think he's taking a little bit more than he's dealing right now. That wave got insta-cleared by the Izanami, making him eat half his health bar. You're going to be chewing through those pots at this rate if you keep that one up. Meanwhile, over in the solo lane, you know what? Maybe level 2 Ymir versus level 2 Osiris is just better.
That's
I mean,
fair. I
until
mean,
that
that
phalanx.
Frostbite passive is kind of nasty.
I feel like until that Phalanx comes online, this Osiris is going to be a little bit skeptical, but hold that thought. As the double jungle rotation is happening over here in the dual lane, a wrap in from Freaky G ends up finding not a big deal, burning him down, chewing through the HP of this Hui, but he's still alive. Chain missed. Uh-oh.
This is anybody's
I'm
stat.
worried, yeah, I'm worried and I'm watching intently, but it's ISO who falls first to player home to support pickup, getting that first blood for the killer Kappas, followed by Freaky G knocking down, not a big deal. Patriot now completely zoned out, slowed by the burn of that Daji, eating the damage from the wave, getting chained. Ares is burning through those, but does not get it. Player home, support, double kill. Maybe Xing Chan is tech.
Xing Tian double kill. I mean, you can't even think about it now. He's just the better pick. There we go. Everything
There it is.
makes
That's-
sense now.
Okay, yeah, now we're turning.
Izanami and Xing Tian win lane. Yep, that makes sense. Yep, Osiris winning lane. All right, everything's right in the world. We're good. We're good.
We're good. We're back to where we're supposed to be.
Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Now we just gotta watch this X-Ball mid to see how he does.
So far, so good. It looked like he had a decent bit of pressure just there. So excited to see how that's going to push out.
Okay, so Hui is obviously gonna be the one to go crit, right? He's got that arrow online for himself, that ornate arrow.
That is what would make sense. That is certainly like the correct way to look at that.
You know who else has it though? Ymir.
Yeah,
Who's
he certainly
Probably
does.
about to fall for the second time, and he does. Freaky G picking up the second kill for this dodgy jungle. 2-0-2. Only not even 3 minutes into the game.
All right, so hear me out. Maybe Ymir solo wasn't the play.
You know, I don't want to be the one to say it, but I think I might agree with you there. Freaky G, though, dashing in right now onto its ISO. See if it can get something, does not. The Maman Brigitte gets away, and so does the Daji make her way on out.
I'd just
Yeah.
like to point out that Killer Kappas are 5-0, and it's just 3 minutes in. This is a nice start from them.
A much
the very
different
least.
game, too, so far. We're going to go to a quick intermission. We will be back with game number 2 in just a few minutes. We will see you then. Welcome back to game number 2 here of Killer Kappas versus Gunshow Shoguns. An electric start from the Killer Kappas this far. Already 1.5k gold lead.
Yeah, definitely off to a good start for sure. 5-0. Can't complain in the slightest about that in this early game.
I think Gunshow Shoguns fans and players can complain a little bit. I mean,
Yeah, but
some
they won
spice.
game 1, you know, and
Right.
everybody roots for content. Game 3, here we come.
game 3 already, calling it. I mean,
it's what I want. I love game 3.
you already have a level lead in solo, a half a level in jungle, a half a level in support, a half a level in ADC, and then mids are just kind of chilling out. Shards of Ice and that ultimate expended from both solo laners.
Deacon just teleported back to lane too. He's not feeling good about that one.
I know I wouldn't. He's also not going the Phalanx build, but I think Ymir is.
Well, how can you go Phalanx? Ymir's a magical.
Yeah, but you still get prots from it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And attack speed, like, why not? It's
Out
also
of the
blink-
rules that I play,
Ooh.
solo is not one of them.
Yeah, that's fair. Thaiso getting a good dash away to the tower. No ultimate expended. Gonna make his way on back to base, and Freaky G's gonna be happy getting a little bit more farm on the map, increasing that level lead in his favor. Meanwhile, support's still chilling over in the dual lane.
Yeah, just hanging out. It's a duo lane for a reason. Everybody's got to be involved. 2 and 2.
Now it looks like Freaky G making his way over to the dual lane. Chains are rapid firing out. A Patriot might be eating a lot of damage, but Angel, Gemini, Angel indeed gets on out of there. No way. And now Freaky G is here to get the cleanup over on the support. But it goes the way of player Hone, the Xingjian.
That's 3-0. That's 3-0. Gotta respect a support on a killing spree.
Beads expended over from not a big deal as well. I'm a little nervous if I'm the ADC from the Gunshow Shoguns. I mean, you got a Xingqian to worry about. You got a Daji to worry about. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's what I would say. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Breaker mids, kind of just chilling. I mean, what do you really do against an X-Ball or an X-Shell? I feel like both of these picks are just something that you kind of just have to chill against and clear the wave and
They're both
Nobody's-
just big vibing in mid lane.
just here, you know, get your wards down and you're happy. Half a level though for Fried Ice Cream. I think he's just getting the better end of securing the neutral farm as a hunter here in the early game.
Yeah, don't have to wait on the cooldowns of abilities to do your work. Certainly helps, you know, just being able, I'm gonna auto it.
Nah.
No big deal.
Nice little lull here. The Phalanx does get bought over on the Ymir. Maybe see a little bit of aggression coming out there. He does get the persistent TP upgrade immediately as well. Looking to make some rotations. That's going to be really interesting. I hope he utilizes it.
Definitely something that you build in order to utilize, you know. Want to just immediately start rotating out, getting value elsewhere, so hopefully able to use it well.
Daji ended up picking up a Brawlers too, so... Oh, well, you know what? Here's what I really say. I see a Shogun's first buy over from Ares, but hold that thought as... Not Ares, Osiris. Ares getting that ultimate off blink in from its ISO. Playerhone dodging that one with a nice jump. And here it comes, the whirlwind of Raging Steel that ends up finding nobody. Unfortunately, ultimate used from its ISO to avoid that one.
Killing spree.
Meanwhile, over in solo lane. Little
Ganked
bit of a
yet again.
gank, yeah. We're putting
It's
Ymir
tough
now.
being a
Yeah.
Ymir, you know?
It's tough being a
What do
Ymir
you
these
do?
days.
You run away from a
Genetics would
gank?
say the same thing. Both ultimates expended here in the mid lane, but the minions are putting in some work on Fried Ice Cream right now.
Those minions, they add up, you know? A lot of people underestimate them, but they will in fact do it to you. More health than you would ever believe. What do you mean the minions did 800? What are you talking about?
8 minutes into the game, 7-0 for the Killer Kappas, and it's been pretty much showing, you know. Freaky G's getting a lot more presence here in game number 2 on this Daji pick. Beats expended from Lunar B, but wow, make that 7-1 here in game number 2 as its ISO just walks in on Lunar B and ends up getting that pickup. Might be time to get some wards over here in the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely might need some words after that one. Certainly saying, hey, by the way, I'm still a jungler. I'm still going to kill you. Why are you here at a third health? It
Standing up
doesn't
here.
feel
Oh
good.
yeah. Dash expended, but still visible to the Hu Yi, cleaning up the wave. Nobody's really too worried. And look who's at the tower line. It's Deacon. It's ISO coming on in. Lord of the Afterlife expended to get himself away. Unfortunately, not going to have that ultimate available to him. Doesn't have teleport available to him. Osiris not looking too good right now if another follow-up gank ends up happening. But speaking of ganks over in the duo lane, that's a beads from the Hu Yi.
Cannot beat the bird's damage. Burn damage.
No, we talked about that last game about beating a Kraken.
Okay. All right. You just never know what's going to happen in 10 seconds in a Frank's game. And that's what I love about it.
Two back-to-back ums coming out of the casting team. Trying to figure that one out. Beads from the Hu Yi, expended. He falls. Okay, cool. Daji dives a tower against an Ares. Okay. A little bit of unfortunate. Yeah, it's nine minutes into the game. And then Ares, I guess, you know, here's the thing. He's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place there. Either he fights the minions behind him or he steps a little bit further into the tower and then fights the dual lane of the killer Kappas who are staring intently from the tower line.
It's just a no-win situation, and unfortunately, he does not win.
Yeah. The biggest unfortunate thing that I do see, though, is that was a 5-0 Daji. That is huge. Huge shutdown. It's unfortunate that it went towards Patriot. Like, you'd obviously want that on a killer.
Oh, no, not again. When will we learn?
I agree with you. Oh, no, not again. It happens. Whirlwind of Raging Steel ends up catching Patriot, sending him away, peeling for Freaky G, but the ultimate expended from the Ares as well. What happened?
Yeah, me too. when you miss the no escape and you just have to sit there for a second. He's like looking up to the camera, you know, like you would see on the sitcom.
You guys didn't see that, right? And then we're all just staring down like, oh no, we saw all of it.
We saw.
We all saw it. Don't worry. We also commented on it too, so.
We made sure everybody saw it too. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Everybody knows. You just pack it up, change the name, switch teams. You'll be all right.
He'll never know. Ooh, dashing in. Not a big deal. Looking to get more damage off onto this Izanami. Gemini Angel going to fall back to tower. Kind of get a little bit of a... Or stepping back up. You know what? I'm just step back up and go to the wave immediately after.
Gotta get the wave.
Nah.
Surprisingly, you know, Gemini Angel up about 1.5 levels or so. It doesn't look like it, you know, when you look at the flow of the lane. Looks like, you know, not a big deal is getting the better end of it. Ultimate expulsion used. Going to get pulled to the powwow though.
I love seeing the abilities get used by Lunar B to try to sit there and go, yeah, you're going to catch him right here, and then he just gets pulled immediately back. Shards of Ice expended from 6 point, trying to get the pick up onto Freaky G. Dashes back in and gets the kill instead onto 6 point, knocking down this Ymir for the 4th time. Oh yeah, gotta be greedy a little bit. Right, Ice Cream getting ulted into the tower lane, only eating 1 tower shot as this Beacon ends up spawning, and Deacon makes the rotation on into. Just see if he could get some good damage off Lord of the Afterlife used, and
Guys, towers hurt. Deacon, please. The tower, it hurts.
He's got failings. He doesn't care about those, but he does care about Fried Ice Cream's damage. So, Killer Kappa's diving towers.
They don't have a good track record of it, honestly.
No.
Might need to stay out of the towers.
Name me 2 things that go better together than Killer Kappas and diving towers right now in game number 2.
Like lava and water? I don't know.
How does that make sense, buddy?
Yeah, Killer Kappas can't tower dive, and lava and water shouldn't go together either, you know?
Well, yeah, shouldn't
One's real hot, one's real cool.
Ooh, rotation in from 6 point, using that persistent teleport. Now Freaky G caught out, getting melted down. Ends up falling, not a big deal, getting that one under his belt. That's the first kill for this Hu Yi.
Yeah, first kill for the Hu Yi. And, what? You can't chase a zombie down. She can just go over your wall. I'm sorry to tell you.
He doesn't know that. That's why he's arrow failing Ymir, right? Gold Fury, though. Going down, good wall. Oh, Lord of the Afterlife comes over, not
So
good enough.
close.
It was very close, but the Gunshow Shogun secured that one. Now Deacon caught in between 4 members of the Gunshow Shoguns, now having to get away, but there goes the horrific emblem. Everybody dashing in on top of him, seeing if they could get something, get him low. This is close. I honestly don't know if he's gonna live or not, but oh my, Peel coming out from Player Hone using that Whirlwinds of Rage and Steel to get his Osiris out.
I just want to say that not only was that an amazing Whirlwind of Rage and Steel, it was the first stack on Prophetic. You know, that has to mean something. It's destiny.
That was probably as late as it could have been, too. Even a fraction of a second later, and that was a dead Deacon.
They were just going for suspense, that's all.
He wanted the shout out.
Mm-hmm. He's like, no, I gotta wait just a little bit more. We'll get the shout out.
Ping, 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 ping over there for the Gunshow Shoguns. Look at all the ward vision over on the side of the Gold Fury.
There's like 100 wards. One just fell off. There were like legitimately 6 wards over there.
They gotta have that proper vision. I mean, they did secure the gold too, so maybe they know something. I mean, obviously, wards win games, right? Come on. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah, it definitely helps. Not for nothing. I personally don't ward, but you know, that is just a bad habit. Are wards good? Yes. Do I buy wards? No. Am I good? Also, no.
And with a boxing match happening over here for not a big deal. And there goes the Sunbreaker. Beads expended from Gemini Angel. Yeah, again, another one of those I'm a little bit worried about if I'm the dual laner for the Killer Kappas, because there's an Ares on the other side and a Ymir.
Yeah, Ares, Ymir, even the, Soul Expulsion from that Mammon. A lot of CCs that you want to beads and none that you're able to.
No, they traded!
Oh my god. What is this game?
They both burned each other.
That's incredible. Daji getting the kill while the Mammon's untargetable. That's crazy. You can just never predict like 5 seconds into the future, I swear. They will always just come up with something else for you.
Yeah, they're gonna go and do this, and this is gonna happen, and nah, they exceed my expectations every time.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful 1-for-1 for the junglers from both of these teams, and now a little bit of return to neutral for farm. We're gonna have a beacon spawning soon. We're gonna have the pyromancer spawning soon, so a lot of farm soon to be taken. It's gonna be first pyromancer here at the 17-minute mark. I think those mid camps didn't get cleared out when they thought they should have.
Yeah, definitely. If you're looking for those early pyromancers, you do have to clear those side camps pretty frequently. You do have to go down a certain amount of times before the pyromancer actually spawns.
Station over to the duo lane from the Daji, gonna get spotted out by the ward vision of this Hui. He's really getting those wards down. Unfortunately, one just fell off, the one that they ended up crossing. Now Freaky G making the rotation back on in, seeing if they could get some. Again, crossing these wards is very unfortunate, because I'm pretty sure that one's about to fall off too.
Yeah, definitely could see that one falling off.
Hey, Patriot. Bubble used by Freaky G with the ultimate from the Ares.
Yeah. Whirlwind of Rages and Steel not going to find anything there. Looks very disengaged and gets that.
Beacon is getting extremely low, but here comes Freaky G on into the mid-end jungle. Caught is its ISO ultimate expended from the Mammon Brigitte, and now the Beacon going in the opposite direction, but it looks like the Gunshow Shoguns don't want to give this one up. Eats ISO getting on in there, forcing the beads of Lunar B, but here comes Freaky G right on back in. Here comes Ares as well. Freaky G ends up falling first in this mid lane fight, but Ymir is here. Good freeze coming out from him. He's second time's a charm right now, and it looks like Lunar's gonna get caught out, picked off. And now it looks like its ISO is going to end up falling to Deacon, finishing it off. Tower doing its work on over there. Now Deacon here, and Deacon going back in favor of the Gunshow Shoguns.
Yeah, just a good fight coming out from the Gunshow Shoguns there. Getting themselves a little bit closer to even here. would love to see them, go ahead and say, Oni Fury time, Pyromancer time. Let's look at something.
We just want to fight 3-1. That's massive. Take as much as you can off the map right here. And unfortunately, it looks like Killer Kappas might be thinking about contesting this one. I think it's a good idea because you don't really have an option, but still, like, why not keep getting some farm online, getting caught out right now. 6 Point able to find Deacon over here. The Lord of the Afterlife used Gunshow Shogun, secure that one. Now Deacon in too deep, pulled back in by the Ares. Now locked in between 4 members of the Gunshow Shoguns. There goes the Sunbreaker as well. Deacon getting out 1 HP. Not again. They say he gets the way through. Gemini Angel now in a little bit of a dangerous position. No way.
Ymir Wall doesn't work when Osiris has his passive. That is a fair one.
Freaky GC, if they could get something, they do just that. And here's the rest of the team of the Killer Kappas player Hone picking themselves up a 4th kill. Not a big deal. Now going to find a big deal real soon as the mid-end support from the Killer Kappas are chasing him on down. Well, look, our Lazy Bones just won. Congratulations.
That
some
almost
gems in your
sounds like
pocket.
that almost sounds like a Frank player, Somebody's
Our
lazy
Lazy
bones.
Bones?
Big
Yeah.
old lazy bones. Oh yeah, for sure.
Very unfortunate that team fight happened for the Gunshow Shoguns, because now you got these Oni waves that aren't doing a whole lot other than maybe getting a little bit of tower pressure. But I guess it's gold in the pocket at the end of the day too, so can't complain, but could be better.
Yeah, definitely not feeling too bad about that though. I found something to feel bad about.
Oh,
So Xingqian is currently struggling a little bit. 6 stacks on Prophetic.
oh,
Yeah. Gonna need to get a little bit more aggressive if we're building Prophetic out here.
you know what? He's got more kills than his solo, mid, and ADC combined. I think he's doing his job.
I mean, he's doing his job, but he's not fulfilling the role of that Prophetic,
No, absolutely.
Not hitting people a lot, just hitting them when he needs to.
See, that's the problem with Prophetic Cloak, is people kind of just want to slot that in wherever, but unless you're A, on a god who's really capable of getting those stacks online, and B, you have that playstyle in mind of how to stack this item, because it really takes a lot of just, yeah, I'm going to watch his cooldown timer, I'm going to step up, I'm going to maybe dump an ability, or just auto-attack somebody, whatever I can to get these stacks online. It's going to be very important, and we're going to hold that thought as some ultimates are getting expended here in the mid lane. Fried Ice Cream forced to use the beats, but 6 Point is going to end up falling. Gemini Angel picking up that one with a really good rotation from this Izanami, but Patriot now making his way on in. Freaky G gets pulled in to the team of the Gunshow Shoguns. Raven Ward going on over the top. Freaky G ends up falling to its ISO. Jumping on in now with the Lord of the Afterlife is Deacon on to the 2 members of the Gunshow Shoguns, 3 members of Gunshow Shoguns. As he's trying to 1v3 soon, 1v4. Here from the rest of the Killer Kappas. It's ISO dashing into Deacon, dashing into the middle of the Killer Kappas. A beautiful stun, but it's not enough. He ends up falling and not a big deal. Ends up finally picking up Deacon after a long, drawn-out fight with this Osiris. Jumping on in now is not a big deal, eating off way too much damage. They're going to have to disengage from this one.
Yeah, tough fight, 2 for 2. At the end of the day, 6 Point gets picked a little bit early, but doesn't impact the fight too much there.
No. Looks like Gunshow Shoguns want to take this Pyromancer now, in that tower in mid is... What is the HP? What is the HP on that?
Like negative 25.
Destroyed the Pyromancer.
It's so low, man.
That's fine.
It's fine.
That's just a little bit of free gold later.
It's got to be single-digit HP, right? Surely.
I think double digits. I think like
Oh, okay.
low double digits. I'm thinking like 35.
Low on mana here in the mid lane for Fried Ice Cream, and now Killer Kappas wanting to take this mid-tier 1. Not sure if they really have the damage to do it, because expending some ultimates, dashing on in here. Here comes the ultimate from Patriot. Gets one, but the beads from Lunar B, I think that's going to be really good going into these objective team fights soon to be coming. A blink in from its ISO on top of Lunar B, forcing that Aegis, as we were talking about, getting those relics off of their carry picks is going to be really huge for these pickups in these fights.
Yeah, definitely going to be tough for Lunar to survive any fights without those relics. Going to have to play very carefully. Looks like Freaky G might be looking for its ISO there, not able to quite find the kill there. Beads are forced out off of the powwow.
It's really going to come down to A, getting these relics, but then B, recognizing that the relics are down and then utilizing, capitalizing. That's the word the other icing word I was looking for, capitalizing off the fact that those relics are down. It's good that you got the relics, but if the Gunshow Shoguns can't capitalize off the fact that Lunar Bee doesn't have her beads, doesn't have her Aegis, it doesn't mean anything. It's good that the Killer Kappas got the beads off of its ISO, but if they can't do anything with it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't count if you don't punish them for it. Definitely have to be looking at punishing these relics being used, so definitely something they need to look forward into. Oh, okay, we got relics. Let's make sure we use those relics being down.
Killer Kappa's taken out. I'm sorry. Gunshow Shogun's taking out that Gold Fury, and now Killer Kappa's making their way on in. Deacon able to pick up the one who is tanking it, getting a kill on this Osiris, and now 6 points. Ends up falling as well. 2 picks for this Osiris. Killer Kappas are here to fight right now, and I think they have a good chance to do it. Meanwhile, Freaky G's on the opposite end of the map taking down towers.
I like Freaky G not coming to these fights, you know. It's ISO first person in the game to hit level 20. You're down quite a bit in farm, even if you have, you know, a couple more kills. I love the recognition to say, no, I just need to farm up right now.
Yeah, it's 25 minutes into the game right now here in game number 2. Not being level 20 kind of feels like a detriment.
Yeah, it definitely does not feel good to still be looking for a little bit of XP.
Oh, that minion blocked. The dash from Fried Ice Cream, absolutely massive. It's ISO dashing on in. I don't know if they're in a very good spot. They are surrounded by 5 members of the Killer Kappas. Beads expended from Freaky G, goes up into the powwow, ends up finding its ISO, pulling on down. But its ISO ends up falling to Deacon, a killing spree for our Osiris. 5 and 2.
Yeah, definitely looking good on the Osiris, you know. I think the only 2 deaths were from him trying to steal Gold Fury and then unfortunately getting collapsed
in
on.
mid, remember?
Oh, that's right. He did die on the
that
second
one
one.
happened.
It was Gemini that died on the second one. He walked through the Ymir wall with passive. That's right. That's right.
Ooh, beats expended from Player Hone and ultimate from Deacon. Not gonna have that Lord of the Afterlife available to him.
Yeah, Lord of the Afterlife to get out of No Escape, I think that's a fair trade. I don't think you're upset about that one.
I don't think you're upset about it, but it makes you,
You know what
wonder,
I'm
was
upset
there a
about?
better alternative? What are you upset about? I'm
So
like,
Player Hone is level 17, and that is still not an
11.
upgrade starter.
Ah. Yeah, you know what? That's something to be upset about.
It's reasonable.
It's very reasonable. Good little grouping here from the Gunshow Shoguns, though, seeing if they could catch somebody off guard or maybe catch Pyromancers. They end up picking that one up. Killer Kappas are nowhere nearby. Well, a little bit nearby, but not recognizing it. Now they do. And it looks like it gets dropped by the Gunshow Shoguns, realizing that the Killer Kappas realized.
Yeah.
A lot of
Something else I've
realizations.
noticed is Deacon isn't going into that Spectral as we see both hunters opting for that crit.
He's going more the damage route here at the end. He's got that Kins and what's probably going to be a Bloodforge. To be honest, I'm not against it, because when you do get a pickup here, you're going to get that health shield. I'd rather it be a Bloodforge than the Claws. I'm going to say it, but something in the back of my head is now saying that it's going to be Claws.
Oh, everything in my brain is screaming that it's going to be Claws, even though I don't think anything in that tree should be built right here, to be honest.
No, absolutely.
Still, the amount of shred he has for 6 point here certainly can't be underestimated. Going to grab that pick there, and honestly, that could be a fire pull.
I wouldn't be against it. I mean, 6 point off the field. It's 27 minutes into the game. He's going to be down for another 40 seconds. They're going to opt for the Pyromancer instead. Freaky G coming in from behind. Killer Kappas end up getting that Pyromancer ultimate expended from its ISO and the life as well. Sending that one back to the gray screen. 2 picks now for the Killer Kappas. Like you just said, I'm thinking right now, reset, go to fire. And we see a couple backs coming out already.
Yeah, I mean, by the time you get there, 6 point is going to be back alive, but that's not the end of the world. Just pick him again. He's a Ymir. If Deacon just runs at him, I think he's just going to be able to get that kill every time.
Yeah, he does have the teleport available. Will be able to make it back here immediately. A very late back, in my opinion, coming from Freaky G. It seemed like a good opportunity from the Killer Kappas to take advantage of a couple of deaths here on the map, but now they're just going to have to resort to farming.
Yeah, I think that Freaky was just making sure he had enough gold to get his upgraded starter after he hit level 20 there. I think he's like, I need this starter upgrade.
I can see it. My problem now is that you kind of gave up that map pressure that you could have had. You know, we could have gotten Fire Giant, and then you could have gotten some gold off of the Fire Giant, and we could have gone and cleared a buff if you need to after that reset as a team. You know, get your items online, and now we just push down as a team because now you just get this standoff. Everybody's back alive. It's a 5v5 yet again. Relics up, ultimates up. It feels like nothing ever changed.
Yeah, Relic's up, but Ares might go down here. A lot of aggression coming out, but unfortunately the auto's going to dissuade Deacon from continuing the chase there.
He didn't even get the bubble. He blinked right past Freaky G right there for that ultimate. There goes the shards of ice. There goes a lot of ultimates actually because the Lord of the Afterlife and the Palau getting expended right now. Gemini Archer getting, Gemini Angel on the Archer getting picked up. First pick here. Player Hone finding the second one. It's ISO ends up falling, and now it looks like Bright Ice Cream's gonna lock down one, lock down two for not a big deal. Freaky G ends up finding Patriot over here, and low HP bars across the board. Not a big deal. Ends up finding Freaky G right here, and it looks like the fight is going in favor of the Gunshow Shoguns here. 4-3, and it looks like they'll take the beacon happily, and only the 2 hunters remaining.
I really thought that was a Killer Kappas fight win.
It looked
at
that
the
way.
start of it. It looked so good. So many low health bars, and Gunshow Shoguns just barely managed to edge them out with that double hunter. And honestly, I think that might be due to the fact that, you know, we don't see a very important item against this double ADC comp. No Bewitched Dagger.
Wingblade, yeah. Or which blade? I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, not too worried about the slows. More worried about the attack.
I meant Witchblade, but it's not Witchblade anymore.
Nope. I mean, it's practically it's bewitched. You know, it's close enough.
Yeah. Maybe Ares is going into it right now. You know, we see already with that tier 2 in that dagger tree.
Yeah, I mean, against, you know, Osiris and Izanami, it's not a bad pickup at all. And just having those relics up often, especially, you know, Blink and Horrific. Horrific is so strong, and, you know, you're blinking in to get that no escape. I love that item on Ares.
Primal Fury going down for the Gunshow Shoguns. They're going to take a nice little reset, get a little bit more farm online. Still, 2 members for the Gunshow Shoguns have yet to hit level 20. It is the support and the solo lane, who's soon to bridge over, though, and it looks like Player Hone heard you because they upgraded that starter item.
At least we got the upgraded starter. I mean, then again, how can you really question the guy that is 6-1 on Xingtian?
He knows something you don't know, which is why he has 15 stacks on his profit. I'm kidding. I don't.
He's 6-1, but 15 stacks on Prophetic. He knows something we don't.
Yeah. It's golf numbers right now. The lower the number, the better it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to keep it low. That's all the times that I had to beat somebody up, you know?
All the times you forced my hand. I mean, here's the thing, too. 15 stacks, and he's 6-1 and 8, which means he was a part of 14 kills. 14 kills, 15 stacks. I'm seeing a correlation here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, got a couple of those before, you know.
No.
I mean, he was a
part
of 3 kills before he even thought about having thieves.
I don't believe it.
Propaganda, fake
yeah.
news, fake news.
That is. Gunshow Shoguns recognizing that there is not an assassin from the Killer Kappas here pulling in Deacon. Deacon saying this is where I wanted to be in the first place, but it's this ISO on the back line of the Killer Kappas ends up finding Gemini Angel, now collapsing onto Lunar B. Alternate timeline gets you. She's still alive, frozen on out of it, and that is a 3-1 trade right now, but Player Hone still alive.
What a
Player Hone
knockup.
not alive anymore. The fire ring did not come up in time to get its ISO out of there, and meanwhile, Freaky G took the dual lane Phoenix.
He gets the dual lane Phoenix. Their health bars are too low to get fire.
I
Seems
guess
like a
that's
good
a
play
win,
to
yeah.
me.
And if you're telling me that the Killer Kappas were able to manage that team fight in that way and dissuade them from the Enhanced Fire Giant without one of their team members, imagine what they could do in the 5v5 fight. Could be something I'd be looking forward to here. 33-minute mark.
Yeah, going to have to be very careful here, though, because, you know, still have 4 people looking at this EFG, and it is only Freaky G at the moment.
Fire getting down to about Yeah, 60-50%, and Freaky G looking to do a little bit of something here. Seeing if he could steal it away, but not able to get close enough. Worried about losing his bubble to the Ymir. Gunshow Shoguns end up taking that EFG away and getting it around there. 5 members.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good, they get the 5 on EFG, but at the very least, they're dealing with those fire minions over on the left side, so consolation prize at its best.
Yeah, those firemen's already pouring into the Titan room. As we can see, Patriot having a back, go for the defense a little bit, and I don't think that's somebody who I would want to have backing for that. I mean, 6 Point still has the teleport available. Probably going to deal a little bit more damage to those minions than the Ares would. Ares now having to defend another wave coming in. You're going to be stuck back here for quite a while.
Yeah,
I think they
stuck
all
back
realized
there
it.
and, stuck from letting your team push forward.
Ooh.
Great jump from Not a Big Deal. Jumps away from the dodge E3 there.
If the Killer Kappas can recognize that there's a few members missing, unfortunately they don't. And 6 Point, not a big deal. Gonna get themselves on a way, regroup with the rest of their team and start shoving down this dual lane, push these fire waves on out, and tell the Killer Kappas that their entire push meant nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything at all if you don't get to use it, and they're just gonna push right back up and, at least try to get their own left Phoenix down.
He wanted to maybe group up over here for the dual lane, see if they could get a pick. 4v5 around this tier 2 tower. Now coming on in is the Killer Kappas. A dash in, fried ice cream ends up finding one, but Deco finds a return pick onto its ice. So going up into the air is Freaky G, and a beads do get expended. Shards of ice are getting used. Freaky G caught out. Freaky G ends up falling to not a big deal, and Deacon in too deep ends up falling as well. It is a 3-1 fight, and the last 2 remaining members of the Killer Kappas are doing their best to survive, but it is not enough as Lunar B ends up falling, and soon to fall as well will be Player Hone. Tier 2 tower goes down, 4 members strong with EFG. Gunshow Shoguns are marching into the dual lane. Phoenix pushing that one down, and now marching into the Titan room to put game 2 away, put this set away against the Killer Kappas.
Yeah, unfortunately, Gunshow Shoguns just play the late game a little bit better, take a couple of better fights, and that just propels them to victory both games. Just, oh, we won one fight, we can just go ahead and end now. And they're just able to manage that twice.
35.5, almost 36-minute game, sealing the deal and sealing this set for the Gunshow Shoguns, taking the 2-0 victory. It felt like early game was Killer Kappas. They felt dominant. What was it, 7-0, 8-0, going out
Early
of the start
game,
until the,
even mid game, they're keeping their lead, and then just Gunshow Shoguns played just a little bit better in the late game.
Yeah, it felt like Killer Kappas really couldn't transition that into that mid game. Their grouping up from the Gunshow Shoguns just felt so much better than it did from the Killer Kappas. Once that team got together, started fighting as a unit, it just felt differently. And we saw that too in game number 1 when they were just kind of on the right targets at the right times. I think that's the best way of saying it, because it really felt like here in game number 2 as well, when you have this double hunter team comp, you have to be on the same target. We're going to lock somebody in place with Ymir and Ares, and then we're going to shred them down with our Ho Yi and our X-Ball and our Maman Brigitte, just all on the same target, going from one to the next. It's kind of what you need to do. This is a front-to-back team comp with 3 super scaly characters for a backline, double front line, triple back line, and just move from one to the next. And I think they executed it here in game number 2.
Yeah, definitely did a great job of executing that there. I mean, double Guardian, it works when you have those double ADCs, Was the meta back a little while ago, and I mean, even starting to come back again. So definitely great set from the Gunshow Shoguns.
Yeah, Gunshow Shoguns putting this one away in 2. Killer Kappas, like we said, though, it felt down but not out in game number 1, because it really came down to a nice comeback and, well, just one bad team fight. Here in game number 2, they had that early game, but transitioning into the mid game, it felt like, what was it, ward vision? We saw wards all over that Gold Fury pit a little bit earlier from the Gunshow Shoguns. That whole side of the map was red.
Yeah, definitely. Just a lot of really good ward vision coming out.
I mean, you can see right here, just in the ward counts at the end, 11 wards from Deacon and 12 from Lunar B. Everybody else is 5 or below. Meanwhile, over on the side of the Gunshow Shoguns, I got 4 members in double digits.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely great wording coming out from the Gunshow Shoguns, and like you were saying earlier, words win games.
Words win games, words win sets. Gunshow Shoguns put it away in 2. I want to thank you all very much for coming on out here for our set of Walker Division, Gunshow Shoguns, and Killer Kappas. You had myself, Zek Vexel, with Ruler of Men. Wolfie did a phenomenal job spectating for us today. We appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Have yourself a good rest of your night.